What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's TV review of Snowpiercer Season 2, Episode 4, A Single Trade. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, awesome, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell, top the finals coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button, and comment below any video to watch, including this one. So, as I predicted, Jennifer Connelly is not in this episode. She is off doing her thing with Melanie's character, doing the whole weather experiment to see if they can live in the earth, if it's like warming up like she's hoping it will. And in the process, this episode basically revolves around the connection between Snowpiercer and Melanie's station where she's at. Hopefully she's alive. She's kind of weathered the whole storm that she has to walk through. And in the process, we have this whole party that's similar to like a New Year's Eve party that Snowpiercer has allowed Wilfred and a few other people to come join in the festivities and have fun and excitement. But there's an underlining, evil and kind of danger to the whole situation. We know that Sean Bean's character, the Wilfred character, is doing something nasty. We know he's a bad person. He has some kind of evil up his sleeve that we don't necessarily know at the moment. But in trade, which is the title of A Single Trade, they offer the burn victims of Snowpiercer, including Josie, the ability to use the skin grafting technology that they have for like Icy Bob and Melanie and so on and so forth. And in the process, like I said, they're allowed to go on Snowpiercer, 3 other people, some engineers, a cook, and so on and so forth, as well as Alex and Wilfred go to this party. And that's basically almost the entire episode. Is once again kind of a filler episode like last week's episode a little bit, where it's more of a kind of setting in motion, setting in place, trying to, put the two sections of what is going on right now between Snowpiercer and Melanie together. And it involves a weather balloon. They're going to shoot up a weather balloon to make a connection with Melanie. And they have to they have to wait until they get the connection. And in the process, we learn that Wilfred and Miss Audrey had a relationship. And it's a very tumultuous relationship, a very sad relationship, because she has PTSD, in essence, for the simple fact that she loved Wilfred. Wilfred loves her. As we saw with Kevin, I think his name was, in the last couple episodes, she was told to basically sacrifice herself for Wilfred, which is, I guess, a fetish of Wilfred's character. He loves watching people sacrifice themselves in a tub with razor blades. It's crazy what they're willing to do to be there for him, I guess. But in essence, Layton basically asked Miss Audrey to keep him company, to make him happy, so that they can have the burn victims to get the skin grafts and so on and so forth, so that there can be some kind of peace treaty for the time being, even though these two sides, Big Alice and Snowpiercer, are basically rivals at this point. They're not well put together individuals. We see Pike basically smuggling drugs and stuff like that from the whole trade system that's going on. And it's kind of a mess. You see the underhanding problems that are starting to form like they did the first time. And as much as Layton's character has a grasp on everything, it's not really 100% on grasp. So it's not a really heavily confronted episode. It's not like the most, engaging of episodes, but in essence, Miss Audrey and Wilfred go back into that little room that, of course, Zara and Layton went to. There's a really strange scene in there. I don't really want to get into it, but they're basically reminiscing back on their past, and we see, Miss Audrey kind of looking back on what she was willing to sacrifice for Wilfred and how it's really traumatized her. And she has a moment with Zara in the back room where she's getting makeup and stuff like that for the big party to sing and so on and so forth. And just the level of just sadness in her eyes and the level of anguish that what she did and how she was willing to kill herself for Wilfred. It's just a very brutal situation. And like I said, Wilfred is a very conniving individual. Some people would say he's very similar to another individual. And it's really interesting to watch kind of the fakeness and the contemptness that Wilfred has, and he's putting on a front, he's putting on a show, he's making everybody feel better for themselves, but in the end he's out there for himself, and he's going to probably try and take down Snowpiercer the best he can. and he's starting to tighten his grip now that Melanie's not there on this whole idea. He still has control of, Alex and so on and so forth. And it's we'll see what happens later on in the season, like when we get into the next few episodes and whatnot. But we also have, of course, Alex finally getting a little bit of being a young adult, I guess you could say. She's never really had the chance to be a young adult, a young kid. Her and LJ have their moment where they sneak up into the mechanical room, and there's this like big globe on the top of Snowpiercer or something like that they can actually see outside into the atmosphere. They see like the aurora borealis and stuff like that. They see just a really cool shot of Snowpiercer driving through the train tracks in the snow. And I was thinking as LJ was up there that she was going to do something to Alex, but all they do is smoke a cigarette. That's all they do. They don't really do much. They talk. They act like kids. For once, LJ seems like a normal human being, but she's really not. She's a very damaged girl after losing her parents, after being kind of put into janitorial duties. Like I said, maybe I'm wrong about something. She being kind of the takedown person, the person that's going to kind of ruin everything for everybody. But like I said, this is literally the most we've seen of LJ's character. She was such an important kind of like center point of last season to have it where she's just kind of in the background. She doesn't really have much going with her character. She's just kind of there to have her moment with Alex and acting like a kid again, and as simple as that can be. It's gonna be interesting to see if they kind of develop an actual relationship, something happens later on. And maybe that's what LJ's whole point of this season is, to develop a relationship with Alex and kind of either confront the situation or do something. Maybe Alex dies, I don't know, who knows what LJ has up her sleeve. But at this moment, it was nice to see just kind of a small moment of them just looking out into the world, smoking a cigarette. It was pretty cool. So, but other than that, there wasn't really much else to talk about. There's some back and forth with Layton and Wilfred, but it's like more of just like two people just talking to one another. I like that Zara was wearing one of Ruth's outfits, or one of the outfits the concierge wears. He's like, I'm not gonna take it off. I like it. If it's nice. But the kind of the cool moment is Miles, who we haven't seen this entire season, because Josie's alive. He can he goes and talks to her and sees her before she's taken away to Big Alice to be skin graft or whatever, and it's such a kind of sweet moment. It makes up for the fact that I don't think Josie should have even been in this season or the rest of the series. I think she should have died with honor, but they needed her to come back because apparently at the end of this episode, Wilfred is walking through the medical bay and he looks through the window where Icy Bob's at, and that's where Josie's at. And I don't know what that means. I don't know what that entails. I don't know what that's going to enforce. But Josie opens her eyes and looks out, and Wilfred's not there anymore. But it's we'll see what happens to Josie. I think something big's going to happen to her. I think something dramatic's going to happen to her. I think it's going to be a big turning sticking point for this entire season. But to watch kind of Andre Layton, kind of thrust his like feelings and sadness into what happened to her is a little overwrought and overdone. To be fairly honest, the whole idea that he has Zara now and Zara's pregnant, and she even goes, "You're worried about Josie, aren't you?" And you can see it in her face that he's probably a little too committed to Josie. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, Josie's just a big kind of jump the shark type of moment in the series. It was weird to see her even come back. Like they were hiding her from a lot of the episodes after she, apparently died in the first season. I mean, it's such a weird moment, but yeah, other than that, there really isn't much more with this episode. This is going to be a pretty short review because it's just a very simple, straightforward kind of bridge between, major plot points. And, it was nice to see kind of a calm, collective moment between Layton and Wilfred. The stuff with Miss Audrey was a little sad and depressing, and, it was important to her character arc. It gives her more of an interesting motivation for the season, and she has some cool moments where she dances and stuff like that. And like I said, LJ and of course Alex and their kind of quiet moment and stuff like that. So it still was a good episode. I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10 because, like I said, there's just not much there. It's just more of like a connecting piece to the rest of the season. So, but that's it. That's gonna be my take on Snowpiercer season 2, episode 4, A Single Trade. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the episode. Are you still committed to this entire season? Like I said, it's not as exciting as the first first season, but once again, it took 4 episodes in the first season to get going. So, but anyways, let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button and join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like the video, awesome, hit that like button. And of course, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace out.